have a brain tumor.
So imagine your doctor tells you you have a brain tumor. Not a headache, not stress, a brain tumor. And the system comes back with, great, we can schedule you in next winter. I'm not exaggerating. I'm gonna show you a clip that's unhinged. And her reaction is also unhinged, rightfully so. And honestly, the whole system right now in Canada is peak clown world. Roll the clip.
Today on how is Canadian healthcare, I need an MRI to see if I have a brain tumor.
Unreal.
And go ahead, guess when it is.
When's it gonna be?
Yes.
Next year, 6
It's
months?
in 2026. 2026. My
Oh
MRI
my God.
to see if I have a brain tumor is in 2026. It's March 2025 right now. And if you thought this was bad, it's actually worse than you thought, because the appointment where we decided that I need this MRI was in December of last year. So it's not like it's 10 months from now.
Unbelievable.
It's 13 months. It's a 13-month wait to see if I have a brain tumor.
Unbelievable, guys. Reality is, this is healthcare in Canada. Sure, we have free healthcare, and all the people all over the world, especially in America, always think that, hey, it must be great in Canada. Everybody gets taken care of. And in principle, in theory, it sounds great. But in actuality, in real life, this is what happens all the friggin' time.
Hey, way to fuck up our country. Way to go. You fucked us up. You fucked it up, man. You fucked it up, man.
Now, I will say healthcare in Canada is good for like serious life-threatening issues. Like if you have a heart attack, you know, not always, but most times you're going to be taken care of right away because you're literally about to die in the next 30 minutes. That's when the healthcare system, you know, kind of, not always, but kind of comes into play, and it makes sense. Although there are tons of studies where people are literally dying in the ER wait room, which we can pull up right here. But when it comes to chronic issues, right, if you have multiple sclerosis, if you have cancer, if you have severe heart disease, chronic heart disease, this is when the healthcare system in Canada just absolutely sucks. They put you through the ringer, they put you on the treadmill, and you get, 10-month waits to see your doctor. Your issues getting worse and worse. If you're a conspiracy theorist, this is all part of what they want, right? Keep you sicker, keep feeding you drugs. Anyway, this is where Canada really, really fails with this kind of healthcare. Now, we got a funny comment here from 88 Peterbilt on this video that says, and U.S. citizens think your healthcare system is so fantastic. 21,000 likes. This is true. This is the common misconception Americans have, because this ideology of this healthcare system is jammed down Americans' throats. Obviously, healthcare can be pretty savage in America, so they always looked to Canada as this utopia, all this propaganda lie marketing of how great it is here, and it's not. And Americans are finding out more and more about the truth. Now that social media is just getting, much quicker and better, people are learning the truth. The second comment here from No Soyo says, I was told to get an MRI for a tumor. I got it the same day. God bless America. 7,000 likes. Yeah, this is the reality of America, right? You're paying for your healthcare, which sucks. A lot of people can't afford good healthcare or healthcare at all. But if you can, if you're fortunate enough to take advantage of the capitalistic benefits that America has, which I talk about all the time on this channel, it's why we're moving ourselves to America from Canada. It's just so much easier to make money, get wealthier, and build a better life for your family. If you can afford health insurance, I can tell you the service in America is way better. I've had a few run-ins with healthcare with our young son, obviously hurting himself when he's a toddler. We had to go to the emergency room a couple times. Anyway, we were in and out in literally 30 minutes with a prescription in hand, no wait time. We walked into a clinic thinking, okay, we're going to be here for hours because we're so used to the system in Canada. We literally got served immediately. Like, it was weird. The place was empty. We got served immediately. Why? Because it was a paying clinic. We had to pay for it, and obviously it was pretty empty, and we got served right. It was like amazing service. And if you think that was bad, here's a video of a woman who can't even see out of one of her eyes and was told she needs to see a surgeon, but it's not going to be until 15 to 18 months. You literally can't make this up. Let's watch this clip.
I have something really wrong with my eye. I see double all the time. And my eye is paralyzed. My ENT surgeon here in Canada, there's a 15 to 18 month wait to get in to see him. And it has been a nightmare trying to get an eye surgeon here in Canada to even see me.
Again, you just can't make this stuff up. Like, this is just Canada 101. I have friends that have been through this. I have family members, unfortunately, who have been through the healthcare system and passed, for various other diseases. But I've seen the system up close a bunch of times, and it's just not working. It's just not working. And speaking of that, here's a doctor's take from Canada herself talking about how it's not working. Check this out.
I'm a physician with specialties in internal medicine and rheumatology, and you may or may not know, but healthcare in this country is truly falling apart, and I feel like it's not getting the attention it deserves. Because if things do not change soon, I really fear we're at a breaking point. If you need a hip or knee replacement in Calgary, where I work, the wait to even meet the doctor, just to have the initial consult, is 28 months. And then to have surgery, it's going to be another 6 to 12 months after that.
Okay, so we're 28 months just to see the specialist. Your surgery booked 12 months after that. We're talking 3.5 years before your ailment actually gets fixed. I don't know, guys. Like, yeah, sure, healthcare is free and free, right? Via 55-60% taxes, free. But when it comes to life-threatening issues, or just like, if you need a hip replacement, there's something, your life quality is probably shitty, and you have to wait 3 years to get it dealt with. I know for a fact in America, if you had proper health insurance, it would be dealt with in a matter of 6 months or less. In fact, I have a little story of my own when we got home in Canada after our Florida trip. Of course, your kids always hurt themselves. He slipped back in the shower, hit his head on the tile. You know, it was awful. A bit of blood. So we had to go to the ER, and our neighbor is actually a doctor, which is great. So we texted her and we're like, oh, our son just fell. He's bleeding from the back of his head. Like, you know, we're freaking out. Our doctor friend came over and was like, yeah, it's not like the worst, but it's you should go to the hospital as well just to get it stitched up. You know, it was like a little gash. And she was like, you know, if it was my kid, I would go and just get it stitched up. No problem. So we were like, oh, freaking out. So we got our stuff, and she's like, before you go, guys, you're going to literally want to pack a bag. And we're like, what do you mean? This is pretty serious. He's a 4-year-old toddler. He's going to be clearly top of the list. And she was like, yeah, kind of. But like, bring food, bring water, bring a pillow. I was so mad. I'm freaking out as a parent. I got to take my kid to the hospital, and I have to think about packing a fucking weekend bag. Like I'm going to a hotel because I got a plan to be there. Anyway, we were there for 14 hours, and they pretty much said it didn't even really need to be stitched up. They just put some glue and glued the back of his head. And then we're like, all right, see you later. Like, unfucking believable. Like the triage nurse who checked us in, you know, looked at him, and she should have just been like, you know what, I'll just glue this right now. See you later. It's not that serious. No, she made us wait for 14 hours. It's unbelievable. We're like the incident I had in the US also with our child. We got seen in 10 minutes. It's just not working. And Quario says, why not privatize? I don't understand. Can someone explain to me why this option isn't in Canada? Someone says below that it has been tried elsewhere. Results were incredibly awful. I don't know. Not true. It has been tried in the US. It's privatized healthcare basically. And it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect. Everything can be made better. But it's honestly way better than Canada. But the option here, and Doug Ford's kind of rolling it out in Ontario, we should have public healthcare as we do in Canada. Sure. Let's keep it. It's a Canadian core value, clearly. Everybody loves it. Okay, fine. Let's keep it. I get in theory, everybody should have access to free healthcare and good healthcare. That makes sense. Even me as a conservative, I can be like, you know what? In theory, that makes sense. Let's just keep it. Sure. But there should also be, in addition, private hospitals where if you want to pay cash or get your own healthcare plan, maybe like America, you get access to these hospitals. And people are gonna say, well, it's not fair. It's like, you know, classist. You know, some people are gonna get better healthcare. Yeah, that is true. But what it will do for sure is will alleviate a lot of the pressure on the free healthcare, the packed ERs, people who are there for reasons they shouldn't be. Like, when I was there in the ER with our child, there were so many people there that shouldn't have been there. People are just like that. And I guess you know who I'm talking about. They're just there to leech, to have drama. Like, they just weren't sick. And when your kid's bleeding from his head, you're just getting more pissed off, right? Anyway, there'll be less of that. There'll be more room available for the free hospitals. And then, you know, we'll alleviate some of the pressure with the paid hospitals. Okay, so after seeing all three of these videos, here's the thing nobody talks about. No healthcare system is magic. There are no free healthcare plans, but also there are no premium healthcare plans like there are in the US. If you want guaranteed quick access, you're going to pay more. If you want free healthcare, you're going to wait a lot more. So while we can go back and forth and try and pass policies and complain, we should be more like America. No, we should be more like Scandinavia, which is Canada now with free healthcare. No, we're going back and forth, and we can keep making better policies, and the politicians can keep fighting back and forth, and maybe we'll get somewhere, maybe we won't. What truly will get you better, because this whole channel is really about how to make your life better, how to get your wallet better, how to have a better life for your family, because nobody's going to do it for you. And the only way to do that is to get financially free or financially better well off. It is, right? That's the whole point of my channel, is investing in real estate, making a lot of money, building a business, whatever way you decide. But fundamentally, you need to make more money to take care of yourself. Because unfortunately, I didn't make the freaking rules, okay? I didn't make the rules. I just know how to play the game pretty damn well. And I'm always learning to play the game well, which is financial freedom. The more money you have, the better your life will be. I can tell you, I grew up in an extremely poor family. I didn't get to go on trips. My first trip on a flight, I was 26 years old, and it was my own money. Once I started building a business, I didn't travel anywhere. I didn't do anything. All my friends did all these. I didn't do anything. Like, that's the type of childhood I kind of grew up in. We just barely had enough. Now my life has a lot more money and life is way better, and it gets you access to better healthcare. For example, if you did live in the US, which is, a lot of Canadians like myself want to get the hell out of Canada, which I'll talk about in a sec, you get a better quality of life if you have more money. That's just the way it is. Now in Canada, it's getting harder and harder to make more money, to grow a business. There's too much regulations. Taxes are 60%. There's no incentivization to build anything. They're just going to take the money from you anyway. Like, what's the point of taking risk, building a business, hiring employees? There's too much risk. It doesn't make any sense, which is why we're moving to the US. We're building our business in the US. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, follow a Canadian like myself who's doing it, who's leaving Canada, building a business in the US, living in the US, hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram especially. I show you a lot of the day-to-day stuff and a lot more faster, choppier videos. If you want to learn more, hit the subscribe button because I got a lot more to share with you.